Hey guys, it's Deneen. Welcome to Story 17 of December Daily 2023. So I'm going to start out here a little bit slow so I can tell you what colors I am using if you're interested. I'm going to do a rainbow across Ali Edwards cut file, December colors. So I left the cut file on the cutting mat to hold it in place. I'm using some washi tape to just hold my polka dot stencil down so it doesn't shift at all. The colors I'm using are Lumberjack Plaid, Ripe Persimmons, Mustard Seed, Rustic Wilderness, Broken China, and Wilted Violet. So there's the first three colors, and I'll go ahead and clean off my stencil after that. And then again, lining this up with the previous dots so that everything kind of matches together. You want to be careful about that. And then you're just going to go ahead and you're going to add your Broken China and then top it off at the end with the Wilted Violet. So this is super simple and easy, and holding it in place on the cutting mat was the best idea ever. So then I'm going to go ahead and just remove that stencil, and I will just start to peel away the extra paper from on top of the cut file. So really careful here. I probably should have used my little tool. I don't know what that's called, honestly. I know it would come to me if I thought about it, but not quite thinking about it. But here you go is where I probably should have used that. But I'm careful, and I do get it off without messing it up too much. And I love the way it turned out. So I'm just going to go weeding tool. That's it. It's a weeding tool. That's what I think it's called. Anyway, let's pull out these little pieces here, and then I will show you what the finished product looks like. And I love it. Love polka dots. They are so much fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm going to do with a 10 by 8 page protector. So here is a regular everyday 10 by 8 page protector, and I'm going to divide this so that I can have 8 squares, and they are going to end up being approximately 2.5 inches by 2.25 inches. So I want to cut so that I can only cut through the top portion of the page protector. So I'm going to put a piece of cardboard between there. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to go down to 2 5/8 inches from the top of the page protector. And I'm just going to use a regular pen. Just like a felt tip pen that's going to wipe off with my finger. I could just smear it right off. And then this is my right angle ruler, and I'm going to turn this sideways. And I'm just going to use my craft tool, my craft knife, to slice down. And the cardboard is keeping that from cutting through to the back side because I don't want the back side cut. I just want to make an opening on the front side. So sticking my fingers in there, I see everything cut nicely. And now I have a slice right there at 2 5/8 inches. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to get out our fuse tool because we are going to make some divisions here. I will once again take some washi tape and I will hold this to my this is like a cutting mat, I guess you can say. I've had this forever. If I'm not mistaken, this is like Creative Memories or something. But I've used it forever, and it's really, really handy and sturdy. Okay, so now I'm going to take my ruler, my right angle ruler, and I want to put it right above that line that I cut. All right, right above. And I'm going to fuse because this is going to be the bottom of the top row of pockets. Okay, so this is right a little bit above the 5/8 mark. Okay, so now my opening is still there, but I have made a fuse above it. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing from the top of that cut mark down 2 5/8 inches. And I am not cutting anything, I am just fusing. So this is going to be the bottom part of the second row of pockets. So you'll see I move my tape a little bit so that it's not in the way when I am fusing. So I'll just move that to the side a little bit. Line that up and do the same exact thing over here. I will get my fuse tool and I will make the bottom part of the second row of pockets. Okay, so now I have 2 rows. Both of them are the same width. And now I'm going to go and get my centering ruler, and I am going to make it so that I have 2 rows. Yeah, 2 rows and 4 columns. So center the ruler right in the middle of the page protector, and I am not counting the part that has the holes in it. And I'm going to use that felt tip pen again to mark the center. Then I'm going to move the ruler over, and I'm going to mark the center of the first half. So putting that 0 right in the center of the first half, and then doing the same thing to the second half. And that is ensuring that whatever width they come out, they are all equal. Okay, and it did turn out that it was 2.5 inches by 2.25 inches for each one of these boxes. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not 100% perfect. I am not the best at measuring. If anything, it is just centimeters off. But in the end, I did cut up some white pieces of paper to see if they fit into my little pockets, and all of them fit. A couple of them had to be trimmed very, very, very slightly on the edges, but that wasn't that big of a deal. So here you're going to see that I am now making my additional marks, and you'll see that they're turning into pockets, right? Each one of these is going to turn into its own little pocket, and in the end, when I'm done, I will have 8 pockets. Now you'll see that I am fusing the entire page protector, but you'll notice when I'm done that I'm going to actually cut off the bottom part. So that is where I'm going to put my December stories, because I want it to be sewn to the bottom of these 2 rows of pockets. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and get my cut file again. I'm going to lay it on top there, and that is how it's actually going to be sewn. And one thing I want to point out here is I am going to make sure that I'm sewing beneath the fused line that I made. So that's why I'm putting this on top of there. And I'm going to add some micro brads. So I pull them out, and I'm going to poke holes. And again, being careful that I am not putting any micro brads in the way of where the sewing machine is going to sew. So as you're holding that cut file on top of or underneath that page protector, you want to be very cautious about where that fuse line is, because you don't want any micro brads in the way of that fuse line. That is pretty much about the area that you are going to end up sewing. Okay, so here I am just putting my brads in. I'll flip it over and I will spread them out just to make sure that I'm happy with them. I try to put a different colored micro brad into a different colored dot. So if the dot was red, I perhaps put a blue micro brad. If it was yellow, I might have put a green, just kind of doing that to alternate the colors a little bit. And now I'm going to get out my sewing machine. And I want to show you here what I'm going to do. So here we are with my cut file. All right, my sewing machine is all ready to go. I'm going to line my cut file up across the bottom of this page protector. I'm going to take my scissors, and about 1/2 inch from where the part is that has the punched holes in it, I'm going to cut up to a little bit below the fuse line. And then I am going to cut off that bottom set of pockets, which really aren't pockets because they're fused together. So I'm kind of just cutting that bottom row off. And then all you're going to have is the 2 top rows, and then a little tiny bit, like I said, about 1/2 inch of that last row, so that your D and your C have something to be attached to. All right. Using a little adhesive, I'm going to kind of put that on there before I run it through my machine with some green thread. Then I test out the pockets to make sure that I can slide something in there. And here I am just taking the December colors cut file, and I am doing the exact same thing to one that I blended with the polka dots on the opposite side, so that when you flip this over, you still see the back of December colors. It still has polka dots, and it also has the micro brads. So it's just like a mirror version of the front, and I'm using some red line tape to attach the 2 of them back to back. And that's it. There they are with the little pieces in there to show you how it's going to look. And now let's take a look at how it looks in my album after I'm all done with my project. Okay, so you can see here that I did my photos. And again, I did them a little bit smaller than 2.5 by 2 1/4 so that I can cut a little white border around them. For my number of the story, I used the stamps from this year's December daily release, number 17, and I put a little wooden star on top of that one. And then I also printed out a little quote that I thought was fun. Keep searching for the colors when everything turns gray, always. So that is the front side of how it turned out. And then here is the back side. And this I just filled with photos. Just photos. If you have any questions about how I cut and fused this page protector, please reach out. I feel like I didn't do the best job explaining, and I'm happy to explain further if you are interested in doing something like this and you need a little bit of extra assistance. Otherwise, any other questions are welcome as well, or just pop in to say hello. Thanks so much for playing along with me, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video.